First, though, congressional leaders have agreed on a $900 billion COVID-19 aid package, which includes a second round of stimulus payments to most Americans. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for your 5 News at 6. I'm Erica Thomas.
And I'm Darren Bobb. 5 News reporter Juliana Clipson spoke with an economic expert from the U of A to help break down this bill, and then a CPA who clears up some confusion on what impact these payments are going to have when it comes to tax time. Juliana?
This bill would include a $600 payment to most Americans. And now, while that dollar amount is much less than the previous stimulus payment, economic experts I spoke with say the need is definitely still there. This time around, the checks would go out to individuals making up to $75,000 per year and couples making up to $150,000 per year, with additional $600 payments per dependent child. I spoke with a University of Arkansas research associate who broke down a study showing how Arkansans used the previous stimulus payment.
About 2 million people, or adults, received the payments. And for about 77% of those recipients, the majority of that money went towards their expenses.
He says even though the second round would be smaller, the impact would still be great.
The current stimulus payment, if the bill passes in Congress today, won't be as large as the last one, but you can see that it helped a lot of people.
Another large portion of that $900 billion will revive the Paycheck Protection Program. It provides forgivable loans to qualified businesses. And now, with a payment hitting most Americans' bank accounts from the federal government, comes questions about tax time.
So there's a lot of confusion surrounding this because the IRS was involved, and anytime the IRS is involved, people automatically think, oh, I'm gonna have to pay taxes.
Many claims circulating on social media suggest the $600 payment will be taxed or taken out of upcoming tax returns. A CPA I spoke with says that's not the case.
The IRS job was to verify our income and report that to the federal government, and then they paid out money based off of our income and other qualifications like your family and things like that. So there's no tax implications at all on these stimulus payments.
That relief package also includes unemployment benefits at $300 per week. That's compared to the previous $600 a week benefit that expired back in July. Live in Johnson, covering news where you live, Juliana Clipson, 5 News.
All right, Juliana, thanks. Also included in the bill are funds for vaccines, testing and healthcare providers, as well as money for schools, universities impacted by the pandemic.